We're in Russia today, more specifically in Sochi, along the coast of the Black Sea. I'm here today with my co-commentator, as always, Wazzy.
How's
Welcome.
it, Jay? How are you?
I'm good, and yourself?
Yeah, I can't complain. Just looking forward to see some Formula One cars pound around Sochi.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting circuit. It's had a few boring races, but I don't think this is going to be one of them.
No,
Never really get boring races online, do you?
No, not with, specifically with these group of gents we've got racing today. They've been entertaining us really.
Seeing a whole bunch of cars coming out straight away.
Yeah.
It's going to be difficult for the guys when everybody comes out all together. You know, you're compromising your outlap. You're trying to slow down, and you're trying to create a gap. You're not heating up the tires properly, and you know that compromises the hot lap. So you need to try and find the clean air in the qualifying sessions.
Interesting to see Cam going on the super softs. Is feeling how that feels on the track conditions now.
That's a good idea. I should activate my stats.
It can work, yeah.
I thought the screen looked a bit
Bare.
yeah, not that impressive. That looks much better. Yes, Cam is on the super softs, the only man on the super softs. I don't know why he'd be running them in Q1 other than to save tires. Save ultras?
Yeah, I suppose so. This track is not too hard on the tires, so the one stop is possible.
Well, that just means that he's not going to use super softs in the race unless he uses a set of used super softs.
He'll probably have 2 sets of supers and then all the rest ultras and maybe 1 set of softs. That's how I would have done it, but hey, you never know.
It's gonna get a whole lot complicated when we increase the tire compounds. It's complicated already. I see they're looking at a change for F1 2018, last minute change to the F1 to the tires. Basically, they'll remain the same with introducing the Hypersoft and the other compounds, but basically on the weekend you're not going to call them by that name. You're going to call them soft, medium, and hard.
Yeah,
and that's how they'll be referred to on any given weekend. So whether you're referring to the pink tire or the yellow tire, that could be a soft on that weekend.
Oh dear, we've got Fossey in a barrier early on. Oh
that
dear.
would simplify things.
Oh dear.
That's that Fossey in a barrier.
Yeah, I'm just seeing Pirelli signs. I don't know where that might be. Oh, it's out of turn 1 actually.
Yeah, he's lost the right wheel, so terminal damage. He's not going to get a lap time in qualifying, and he's the first to retire, which means unless anyone gets disqualified, he'll start in 17. Watching now some of the guys starting to put in their first laps.
I've got Joe on top there for now.
It's got a 1:35.0 and oh, look at that, Captain Ice.
I'm just getting some information in here, Jonathan, in the chat. Nathan saying that he had a horrible accident in practice and he's currently in hospital. That's why I can't make the race.
Oh, I see. We don't cover practice, so that's why we have no footage of that.
Yeah. And I believe Steffi put in the time and also binned it slightly, it looks like. Oh dear.
I blame the media. How can a F1 driver get injured in practice and the commentators know nothing about it in qualifying?
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to chat to the media sources.
No, that one just slipped them by.
We've got KLC 73 on a 33.3, which at the moment is a couple of seconds quicker.
That's 1.7 seconds quicker. That's it's not a small advantage. Let's call it that.
No, but I believe the pole time would be in that sort of region in Q3, but we'll see. Of course, Jonathan, this track also a little bit friendly to corner cutting, so I think Charlie will have his hands full a little bit later on this weekend.
Yeah, no, definitely. It is one of the it's one of the tracks on the calendar that there are penalties, but there are just places on the track that you can gain an advantage, and if the drivers learn where those places are, they could do it all weekend. So
probably also a good time to mention our sponsors, G4 Sub.
that's right.
Yeah, guys make amazing rigs. So if you're ever looking for rigs, just check on the website. And I've got a terrorist invading me at the moment.
And if you need to speak to somebody about G-Force Sim, you need to look no further. Look at in the field in 5th position. That TnB DW, he's currently racing in one, and yeah, he seems to enjoy it, because the other day he decided to do 5 hours of Le Mans. Not something I'd be interested in doing. We're in Q1, 10 minutes left on the clock. A lot of guys in the pits getting ready to go out on that second run, see what they can improve. For the time being, we've got KLC 73 in first place with a 1:33.3, and got to say, the gap to second, it's quite a large gap.
Wow.
That's 1.7 seconds. I mean, it's really close between second and third, but that's
let's just say it's a little bit suspect for now. Just following
it does seem that way.
In the third sector, in the beautiful Force India. Coming up to the second, no, he's going into the pits. So it looks like most
going into the pits. He has no. He doesn't want to be broadcast. Not by our commentary, anyway. He knows what happens when we ride on board with people. They crash.
He's going a little bit further down the field, yeah. So let's see, 17 drivers. So we'll probably lose everybody up until 13th. So the top 12.
Yeah, it seems that way. Seems the pattern we've noticed is that it takes 5 drivers anyway.
Yeah.
So, well, I hope that doesn't mean we're going to have a top 7. If I remember correctly, at round 1 we had a top 8.
Yeah, I believe.
For Q3.
If it goes 5 slowest each session, then we'll sit with a top 8. at Q1 in this one. Little piece. The only driver out on a quick one, just started his lap now.
Yeah, he hasn't put in a fast lap yet. Want to get that down so he can get a good bearing of his pace going forward.
Yeah.
Just need to get that banker down, and sometimes if you mess it up the first time and you need to come in, it just seems like it gets away from you. You need to get that monkey off your back.
If you can get into the high 35s, low 36s, you should be through to Q2 by the looks of it.
What are your thoughts on Sochi? You enjoy it?
It's a track that you have to get a specific rhythm, especially in the second sector. Once you're in that rhythm, yeah, there's like an invisible line that you just win time all the time. So, and it's not a track that everybody practices. So I think most of the drivers always going into a league race at Sochi never really practice that much for some odd reason, but yeah.
It seems that way. I saw a lot of guys in time trial today, just polishing up.
Yeah.
Little piece comes into the pits. Didn't set a lap time there. Obviously not happy with something.
Yeah, maybe you can change the setup quickly and maybe go back
out of it.
Yeah. We've got a couple of drivers on outlaps now. DW, Gavin, Springbok Gamer, and the judge is on a hot lap, it looks like.
For the time being, it seems if they want to get on that first position, they've all got a lot of time to find.
Yeah.
I see DNA has brought the gap down to at least under a second, so it looks more reasonable.
Yeah, I believe Paul will be in the 33s. I'm not exactly sure exactly where in the 33s, but it will be around there somewhere.
I think maybe he gave it everything in Q1, showed his cards.
Possible. He is one of the newer drivers, or he is new, it's actually his debut, so just wanting to show the guys that, hey, ready to race. I don't know him, it's quite a bit of a late inclusion, so I'm not exactly familiar with him.
Well, introduced at the beginning of season 4, or that was last week. What we've done is with the debutants, with the guys that are coming in, we let them participate in Q1, and then they don't participate in Q2 or Q3 for that first race.
That's right.
Just to so that everybody we can see his pace and see what kind of driver he is, and
yeah,
I think it's fair. It's just for the first race.
Definitely fair.
And quite a few of the guys here have already gone through that process.
Yeah. I think the only penalty that a driver has is death seeker from the first race in Australia. I think he carries a quali ban. Can participate in Q1, but has to retire from Q2. Just a little bit outbraked himself in the first corner there on the getaway. So Charlie, just reminded him that have to be vigilant.
Well, part of that, if you want to really look for a small advantage, is if you do get that quali ban, the more people that retire in Q1, the higher up you're gonna finish. You're gonna start, sorry.
Yeah.
So, because you'll still technically start higher for finishing the session.
Yeah. Unfortunately, also important to mention is that The hometown hero, Iggy, is not with us tonight, unfortunately.
Oh,
Missing his own race.
that was actually quite unfortunate. Our sole Russian driver
Yeah.
couldn't make it to Russia apparently. Crazy man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I was looking forward to seeing him race again, but hey, hopefully next week
Or
we'll have
we're
it
just that bad that the man heard we were coming to his country and he just left. He was like, you know what? I'm gonna hang out elsewhere.
This crazy beer drinking South Africans are coming, oh dear.
You know, they'll be gone on Saturday and I can go back.
Yeah, also Russia seems to be a place to be at the moment, seeing as the World Cup is also starting in a week's time there.
That's right. Obviously a lot of excitement. So I had the pleasure of hosting a World Cup, and I remember that build-up. You know,
Yeah.
that last month towards, and everybody's counting down, and every time you looked at a newspaper, it was like it had the countdown, and it was just everywhere. And I can just imagine in Russia the excitement.
Yeah, it's a special atmosphere around this time of year, especially a World Cup. Yeah, it's joyous time, let's call it that.
Yeah, I got a good dose of that 2010 World Cup because at the time we've just seen Judge spin off the track,
Oh dear.
hit the barrier, facing the wrong way and retires. Terminal damage. Yep. Seems like right front.
Yep.
Dangling. Not what you want to see, and it's in a bad sector.
Yeah.
So hopefully that disappears. Obviously it coasts, but it can still put somebody off coming through that corner.
We've got Little Piece out trying to basically put in his first decent lap, it seems. Running a tiny bit wide. That double left-hander, you don't really want to go on the curbing there, it just loses you time all the time.
Seems to be happy with that time. He hasn't come out again, KLC. Everybody's session coming to an end. He's got Robbie still out on circuit. He's currently in 5th.
Ah,
135.5. I'm sure he's still got more in there than that.
George sneaks it in 9th. And that should be good for Q2.
Nicely done at the end there. Just I know he was practicing till the last minute because he just squeezed into the lorry. He snuck in. I didn't even know he was here. It's good. It's good to see him here.
Yeah, no, I'm also glad to see him. I think he'll be happy with that. John, also a driver to mention in the Sauber there, also in 8th position, doing well. Captain Ice in 7th. Team BDW in 6th, maybe holding back a little bit. Robbie in P5. Gavin P4. Sam in P3 at the moment. Joe in P2, and then KLC in P1. Obviously, he's only got the Q1 session, so I think he it around just to let the guys know he is here, and he'll obviously start towards the back.
Oh, there we go, and it's so you see the guys are getting a bit creative with the flags. It doesn't seem everyone's from South Africa anymore.
Yeah, we've got Robbie.
We've got a Canadian and Finland and well.
Yeah,
there's another interesting one here at the bottom. Oh yes, Fosse's Jamaican. He's found the way.
Maybe the Jamaican flag just helped him into the barriers there. I don't know, Jonathan. What's your feeling about that?
Maybe it's what inspired him putting the Jamaican flag there.
Fossey is a good man. I'm sure you'll do better in the race. Okay, so yeah, as predicted, no.
Do we have a driver? Do we have a driver in the pits that we can speak to?
Yeah, DW, you there? How's
How's it going?
Jeff saying? How's the weather? Oh, that's good.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's
And
good.
how did you find Q1?
How's that pink car going? That beautiful pink car of yours.
But you've got to love that thing. It's the only car on the grid that has a steering wheel that resembles candy.
Yes.
I promise you. It looks like Snickers all over the place. Well, we'll let you get back to Q2. Enjoy.
Oh, good luck, good luck. Well, obviously being Q2, Jonathan, it's obviously the race tire they will start on, so looks like everybody's on ultras except for Robbie, Little Piece and John at the moment.
Good to see KLC retired. So no funny business. No going out there making a lap.
Yeah, that's good to see.
Retired straight away.
And Charlie can
And
enjoy his beer now.
Dead Seeker as well, retiring at the start of Q2 because of his quali ban.
He's following Camden, yeah. Showed some pace in Australia, but unfortunately just lost it out of the last final corner at the start of the
Showed
race.
a lot of pace in the first race of the season. He got into an interesting tussle with his teammates, and unfortunately, I'm not sure if they collided, but I think he made an error which caused Robbie to collide, or something like that.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a happy day on the one side of the McLaren, but
Yes, indeed. Oh, good to see as well the lobby behaving itself. I haven't seen any lag yet or anything like that, so that's good.
no, everything seems great, which is a good start.
Indeed.
Worst thing is when you're in qualifying, the race hasn't even started, and you can already see how broken this lobby is. You know, like, do you really want to go further, or?
Well, just having a quick look at the chat here, Jonathan, I can see Tom in here spurring on Joshua, which is good to see. And yeah, a couple of locals.
Good to see some support.
I can see Wesley. Wesley, I know you're working. It's tough, brother, but at least we can give you some entertainment.
Well, we'll try.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. Yeah.
Simba's the first man over the line, so he will temporarily hold that purple lap.
Camden with a 35.3, which is decent. But we'll see what the
Similar to his
can do.
Q1 time, I believe.
Yeah, he wasn't a 35, yeah. But he did that on the super soft. So he should 35.1 from this mix. Let's just follow Josh here. See what he can come up with. Coming through the second DRS, entering sector 3, yeah. Keeps it nice and tidy.
Crucial part of the circuit.
Yeah, that's where you can gain and lose a lot of time. There's a big traction zone there. And keeping it nice and clean and tidy should be quick. Yeah, Blitz is a 44.0.
Nicely done.
34.0.
134 flat. And that's immediately 1.1 seconds. And he's retired from the session, so he said that lap's enough.
Oh, Gavin with a
Oh, I don't see you falling out of
34.9.
the top 10 with that lap.
Nah.
Well, Gavin goes into the 134s,
Yeah.
so showing some pace. Nice to see.
Just following Sam, yeah. Also in the last sector. He's also a quick driver. Like his helmet design. Quite easy to spot. The color there.
Cam just coming into the pits. His first lap was a 135.3. I think he'll be happy with that for a first lap.
Oh, yes. And Sam just
Also
nicks
interesting
it.
to see Little Piece currently in 7th. He's on the super soft.
Oh, yes.
So
indeed.
maybe looking to start the race on the super soft. Trying to do something different. And I see Robbie hasn't come out to do a lap yet, but he is sitting in the pits with a set of super softs. So
Yeah, he only needs to get in the top, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, top 9 should be safe. So saving a set of tires, obviously, with doing just the one run. The vet with a 35.0.
doesn't wanna start too far down the grid. I've just found that he doesn't really enjoy driving in traffic, but when he's in the clean air, he's an extremely fast driver.
Who's
So
that, Robbie?
yeah,
Yeah. He
so
always
you'll
seems like...
wanna get higher up the order, I think.
Yeah, you'll be hoping for a more settled race. He'll always seem to have an action-packed race.
Yeah, especially at the last one. I'm sure he wants a more settled race than the last one.
Yeah.
The last one was a bit of everything. But you know, Captain Ice coming into the pits. He's currently 7th with a 135.6. So there in the 135s, there's a lot of cars there in the 135s. So the
Yeah.
midfield is
That's quite
very
close.
close.
Yeah.
It's just that those top two, they're having fun all by themselves.
No, Gavin not too far off. Not too far off. We'll see if he can turn up the wick in Q3. And Nismax also, I think he's probably hasn't practiced this week as much as he would have, but I know he's quicker than a 35, definitely.
And also remember that Q2 is not necessarily all about finishing at the top. I mean, some of the guys just their strategy could be starting on super softs, and their only interest is finishing in the top 10, or in this case, maybe the top 8. So we've currently got 14 runners. So if it was to eliminate 5, we'd have 9. So currently, Timbo in danger, and obviously Robbie has not yet set a lap, but I don't think he's in danger. He just needs to get out on circuit.
Yeah, he's actually coming out of the pits now as we speak.
Leaving the pits now.
Well, we'll keep on board with him, or we'll see who else is on a quick one. Timbo, and then we'll join Robbie as he starts his fast one.
Timbo going around in the horse. second of the two horse drivers. Teammate up in third place with a 134.9. One of only 3 drivers to break into the 134s.
Yeah. Well, that's
TW not far off for the 135 flat.
I think out of everybody or the whole grid, I think probably Timbo and Gavin, they get along quite well. So I think if team tactics is in working, I think they'll sort it out.
The best South African friends are the two that don't live in South Africa or the same country.
Yeah. Which is true, if you say it like that, but it is true, yeah. Best of mates.
The one is based in Ghana and the one is based in Britain.
Yeah. Well, let's just follow Robbie around this quick one. See how he gets on in
both,
on the supers.
both still very South African at heart.
Oh, definitely. Nice exit there from Robbie, coming around a long left-hander. Obviously the defending champion in TnB.
Yeah, no, that's right. He is the defending champion. Hasn't set a lap yet. So he's currently sitting in 12th, but he's out on circuit to correct that. Timbo with the 136.9 in 11th, so he's in danger of not going to Q1. Want to get out there and improve. Currently Flexi still leads everybody with that 134.042. But nothing in it between the top two. So hopefully either those two can keep each other entertained or the rest can catch up in Q3 and Q1. Flexi is retired, obviously happy with the lap time.
Robbie sticks in P6. Good lap on the supers there, to be honest.
Nothing wrong with that. Just betters his teammates by 0.04 of a second.
Yeah. Good solid effort.
And it could potentially be quite interesting if those McLarens had to start in those positions.
Yeah.
Because they'd also be, if Cameron was starting behind on the faster tyre, could be interesting. He showed in Australia that he could match Robbie. When he was on the faster tyre.
Yeah.
That's why he was so aggressive in the beginning of the race. He had a lot of grip.
Having a look at Springbok Gamer in the other Force India. He's going on the fast one, trying to break into the top 9, yeah?
Producers cannot only focus on Force India. I know it's pretty.
Well, he's basically one of the only people out on circuit, so don't you start with me now.
This car is loving the coverage.
Nuzmak's retiring, obviously comfortable with that lap time. Oof, a little bit of a snap of oversteer there for Ati.
Little pieces out on circuit. He's got the ultra softs. Runs wide there. I don't think he's going to improve. Lost a lot of time.
I'll have a look at his first sector split.
Looks like could potentially drop out of the next qualifying session.
Yeah,
I don't think 10th is safe. I think it's going to take the top 9. Just to be safe, make sure you're in the top 5. Never seen anyone in the top 5 get knocked out.
I can tell you one thing, Ati is running skinny wings because in the first sector he goes quickest, and then in the second sector, I don't know if he made a mistake, but he lost 8 tenths. So down the straight he's going to be mega quick, I can tell you that now.
It'll be something good at the start, and not only necessarily at the start, but the first couple of laps, when the cars are close together. If you've got that superior speed down the straight, with a little bit of slipstream, can make up some serious positions.
Yeah.
Well, we've reached the end of qualifying too. It's running down the order. Got Flexi dominating 134. We've got DNA 134. Gavin in third, just creeping into the 134s. Only the top 3 drivers. Then DW fourth, Nizmax fifth, Robbie sixth, his teammate Cam in seventh, Captain Ice in eighth, Jean in ninth, and the Portuguese driver Little P squeezing in 10th. I don't think 10th is going to be safe, but we're going to have to wait for the next session.
Oh, well, let's see. Let's have a look.
And the game rolls the dice, and we'll soon know how many competitors we have.
No,
10.
we've got 10.
We've got 10.
Can you
There we
believe
go.
it? Yeah,
I
every
have
week
not
it's
seen
different.
that in a while. It's you know what? It makes it interesting.
Yeah. Well, if you qualify 10th in Q2, you never know if you're in or not. That's one thing.
Yeah, exactly. Even 9th if you go according to Australia.
Yeah, that's
Australia,
true.
we only had 8 drivers, so some guys immediately hitting tarmac. Only 12 minutes long Q3, so you want to get out there early, set a lap, so that you've got enough time, need be, to come back and do it all again. Currently we've got 4 drivers out on their out laps, but both McLarens, Cam and Robbie, Gavin and Captain Ice, and Flexi's just left, and Jean. So we have 6 of the 10 drivers on the circuit. There's Max also out now, so the only guys choosing to stay in the pits for now are DNA, TnB, and Little Piece. Obviously just waiting a little bit, trying to find the right spot,
Yeah.
get some clean air. Problem is with Q3 is you only really get 2 runs of it, and if you find traffic both times, well, guys now all starting their fast laps.
Hello, Baba.
So we've got a lot of action out on track. DW's come out at what seems to be just the right moment. He's come out of the pits. Just behind a fast car that's on his fast lap, so he'll disappear into the distance. We'll just slack off a little bit so he can get some clean air for the fast lap. Q3 likely has everything switched to maximum for that one last push.
Other thing that switched into maximum is that little one of mine. He's not too interested in the movie he's watching, it seems to me.
I don't know, he's little but he's loud. He will be seen. So we've got a flurry of action on the track at the moment, difficult to follow. We've got, what's that? 4, we've got 8 cars currently out on their fast lap. So I think we're going to see a whole bunch of lap times shortly. I think Robbie was one of the first cars out, so it's just right on board with him.
Yeah, he's coming to the second to last corner now. Gavin
was the first one over the line. He did a 1:34.6. Good lap time. Faster than Q2. Now let's see Robbie 1:34.6 as well. Nicely done. Flexi goes over the line. He does a 1:33.8.
That's where I expected pole time to be more or less in the high 33s. I'll probably push for low 33s on the second run.
Captain Ice went over in 4th place, 1:36.0. Obviously want to get back and have a second run at that.
Max still stuck in the 35s. I won't be happy with that.
1:35.3. Just maybe showing the slightly less practice this week.
Yeah, I know he had some demons with his internet this week, so I only sorted it out today, so yeah, that's probably why he hasn't practiced much. But qualifying and the race is two different things.
Two very different things. It's one thing being fast over a lap. It's 100% race distance is quite something. It's something very different.
Yeah, definitely. Unfortunately, this track I feel doesn't offer too much in strategy, if you want to put it like that. I think
it's also quite a difficult track to pass on. I mean, yes, there are one or two places with heavy braking points, but you really have to wait for a driver's mistake.
Yeah, it's basically.
I think if you've got reasonable pace and you stick to your line, you should be able to defend your lap after lap.
After the two DRS zones, basically,
yeah.
Obviously turn 1 and then into the, I think it's turn 13 after the second DRS straight is the other big overtaking spot. But other than that,
Max
like
now
you
into
say,
the pits.
It's a little bit tough.
Everyone just coming into the pits now, obviously getting ready. Just under 6 minutes remaining in the session. And you also want to time it perfectly. You don't want a whole bunch of cars coming out for the second run at the same time.
Definitely.
And they have irritated drivers.
DW coming alive now in the mid 34s, which is good.
Let's also remember the debutant that got a quali ban. He was up at this pace. He was in the 1:33s, so surely he'll be coming up the order.
Definitely.
So that's definitely something to watch in the race. Something to look forward to. If he can put up those sort of lap times, he's going to be coming past a lot of cars. Cameron's out on circuit. He hasn't set a lap time as of yet. He's on ultra softs, riding on board as he goes around the last corner. Maximum fuel mix. Activates DRS. This is going to be the one. He has to put in a good lap time now. 4 minutes remaining in the session. I think at the end of this lap and at the end of a slowdown lap, there's no way he can get back out there. So possibly this lap, and if it's not good enough, try have another one.
Yeah.
Right after this one, don't slack off. Just go. Obviously, just going to get the one run. Spend too much time in the pits at the beginning of the session. Another man not to have done a lap as of yet is Little Piece. Unfortunately, a detail that I missed. I'm not sure if Little Piece improved on the ultra softs. So I'll be able to tell you in about 5 minutes time on what tyre he'll start. But I think it could possibly be the Super Soft.
Nah, it's a Supers. I'm pretty sure it's a Supers.
As well as Robbie. I think it's the only 2 runners.
Yeah.
And there's a few guys that retired in Q1 decide to, well, basically anyone outside the top 10.
Cameron goes with a 35.4. Not bad. Puts him in P7. Very just nicked Captain Ice there for P7.
1:33.441.
John also
300ths of a second.
a good job in P9.
1:36.7. He's currently on an outlap, so he's going to try and improve on that. Only man not to have set a lap time is that man there in 10th place, Little Piece. Surely he'll well, he is out on track.
Yeah, he's out on track. Yeah.
Let's see what he can do with that Williams.
Have a quick look at Gavin. Gavin, obviously a big fan of Russia. Proclaimed, self-proclaimed.
Apparently, I've also heard that, but I'm not quite sure why. Let's actually get to the root of that story sometime.
Yeah, I don't think you'll enjoy us discussing that.
No, not online.
No, not on
That's
the broadcast.
I wouldn't discuss anything about that Haas team online, quite frankly.
Yeah, definitely. But a good bunch of guys. Actually, everybody on this grid. Very interesting characters.
A lot of definitely a lot of different age groups, a lot of different characters, a lot of different parts of SA. So, but like you say, good bunch of guys been together for a couple of months, really, pretty much since the beginning of F1 2017's release. A few weeks after that.
Yeah. Gavin's stuck it in P3 for the moment.
Nice lap time, that's a 1:34.3. Nothing wrong with that. Half a second off the pace, but considering the pace Flexi's been showing, half a second is it's quite competitive.
Yeah. Much closer this week than last week.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it's good to see that those top two that their lap times are so close. So if they do run away, at least there'll be 2 of them. And they'll be fighting.
Now they'll be fighting, but even P3 is not far off. There's a half a second.
Also got to remember the start here in Russia can undo this entire grid.
Yeah. No, that turn 1 is quite tricky.
So qualifying for Russia, extremely important.
I just saw a flash.
First sector of the first lap, even more important.
Let's have a look where Little Piece sticks it in 4th. Good on you, lad. Good lap time there, 34.4.
I did hear a little bit of information earlier, just before the race, that apparently Little Piece is trying to take a step forward and finding the next stage in his pace, and he's switched off assist. Is that right?
Yes,
I think
I believe so. Yeah, which is brilliant to see.
That's a brilliant lap time, considering all you need to do when your assist's off.
Let's follow DW. DW coming
Definitely
into
something
the
the Williams
corner.
team would love to see.
Oof, runs a bit wide. He doesn't improve. Or he does improve slightly. So it doesn't improve in position.
Just in time.
Let's follow Robbie.
What is Robbie up to? Going around the last corner.
He does
Gonna
improve,
go over the
but
line. Can he
only slight.
improve? No, he can't. He's gonna start in fifth. Well, at least the McLarens are away from each other.
Yeah.
They have a Force India and a Red Bull in the danger zone, though.
Oh, interesting stuff. We've got the winner from Australia taking pole, closely followed by Joshua and Gavin. Little piece in the top 5, you'll be ecstatic with it, which is a good job.
And then we've got Robbie in 5th, DW in 6th. I think you'll be happy with that.
Yeah,
considering some of the pace that we've seen here, I think 6th is a fantastic position. Nismax in 7th. We know he's got a lot more than that in him. So, like we've mentioned already, he's a little bit down on the practice. Cameron in 8th. That'll be a position to watch.
Yeah.
Because he's generally very quick at the start.
Yeah, he's a bit of
Let's
a
just hope he can keep it all together. But in the first couple of laps, he's quite a handful. I think the McLaren team will be relatively happy with that 5th and 8th.
Definitely, they're standing good chance to get some good points.
And the only 2 guys I basically ran down the order already. 2 guys I didn't get. So cut was 9th place, Captain Ice, the 2nd of the Red Bulls, and Jean in the Sauber. I think he'll be happy with that. Top 10.
Yeah, definitely.
So one of the newer guys. So nothing wrong with that.
You guys in the chat, let us know who do you pick for victory. Yeah, be interesting to hear your thoughts.
Okay, well, here we are. Currently we're in the pits. We're getting ready for the Russian Grand Prix.
Yes.
Round 2. Season is officially underway.
Looks a little bit overcast, Jonathan, from where I'm sitting.
Well, from the report we did manage to get our hands on, it's going to be a dry race, but we have had situations where the reports were incorrect in the past.
Yeah.
Let's just call it that. Obviously, starting out on the formation lap gives us a chance to go down the entire order. But Josh is going to start from pole position, followed by okay, I see
Did Flexi
everything is
get a
mixed.
penalty?
He got I think Flexi got a 5 position penalty.
Okay, I didn't notice
That's
that.
what it seems like. Let me just try and confirm that.
I don't
Just
know.
go here to.
That must have been obviously
there's-
from quali, so I don't think
It would have been on qualifying, so the race one is still blank. So, but that's the only thing that makes sense. If he's down 5 positions,
No, must have been a little bit naughty
could make
in lap
it
or out
interesting
lap
having a very fast car starting from 6th.
or- Yeah, definitely.
Obviously, pushing that top 5 because he wants to get to the front. He doesn't want Josh to get away. So probably going to be aggressive at the start.
Well, that promotes Little Piece up into 3rd. Wow.
Yeah, fantastic. Disappointing again not to have the home racer here, Iggy. Couldn't make it. But he had quite a race out in Australia until a connection problem.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, he came from pretty much last on the grid to third, was it?
He was running P2 for a while. Yeah, he had a
And
mega
then the
start.
connection said no podium for you today.
Yeah.
But he was having quite a drive up until that point. Guys now lining up back on the grid, starting. Just never a good time for the guy in front. Just seems like he's sitting there forever. Seems like everybody's gotten around quite cleanly though.
Yeah, which is good to see.
So as with the penalties, the top three starting are going to be Josh, Gav, Little Piece. So
Oh, interesting.
an interesting start.
Definitely, I can't wait. As the lights go on, Jonathan.
That's 5 red lights.
And
And we're away. That seemed like a long time there. That's a good start by Josh. He covers the line into the first corner, if you call that a first corner. Covers the line from Gav. Gets the slipstream, pulls out, thinks about it. Will he? Yes, he will. He goes for it. Goes up the inside.
dear.
There's a collision. Josh spins around. He's not going to be happy with that. He's not going to be happy with that. He's been demoted to 18th place.
Yeah, with a
That
little
promotes
bit of
Gavin to first.
a little bit of a dive
Maybe
bomb there.
something that may come up in later review. But we'll talk about that later. Currently, we've got Gavin leading. He's in first place in the Haas, defending from Flexi, who's had a fantastic start. He started in 6th, he's right up to 2nd. It's followed by the first of the McLaren drivers in 3rd place, Robbie. Doing a good job, holding it together. Little Piece, he's been demoted down to 4th, so I'm not sure what happened there. Obviously just a lot of action in the beginning. Cam's up to 5th, so good first lap for the McLarens. 3rd and 5th. DW in 6th, followed by the first of the Red Bulls, Nizmats. 2nd Red Bull, Captain Ice. The referee in 9th, Dead Seeker in 10th.
I just wanted to mention that it looks like Nathan joined us from hospital, which is good to see.
Seems like it.
Maybe
Nothing wrong with driving with a cast, right?
Doctor's got some magic medicine. We've got Sam right behind Gavin here.
Must have been that magic spray they use in the rugby. Just a little bit of magic spray and everything's good.
Sam coming up on the inside on Gavin, light on the brakes. Beautiful move. Gavin cuts the second part of the first corner. Two at the front fighting hard.
Just defending with everything he's got. The Haas driver, critical part of this first race. Flexi is fast. He doesn't want him to get by. Gets by, you could see that that Merc slowly disappear like we've seen so many times in the past.
Yeah, and we've got 4, 5, 6 and 7 also fighting quite hard in the chasing pack. Obviously
a lot of action here in the first 2 laps.
A little piece on
It'll be interesting now on lap 3 as DRS comes into it, if the guys can stay together like this.
Yeah. Other thing to mention is obviously Robbie and Little Piece on the supers, so they'll be able to go that little bit further into the race. Captain Ice retired. Let's go down. Oh dear, he's in the barrier. And Cameron as well. Oh dear. I wonder if they had coming together. So we've got 2 retirements. You still there, Jonathan? That seems like
Sorry about that.
No problem. No, I thought I lost you for a second there.
We've got a retirement of Captain Ice as well there in the wall.
Yeah, Captain Ice
with his wheel sitting on the nose cone. So that's not good.
And Cameron
two
as
retirements
well.
in lap 2.
Yeah.
As it stands, 3 DNFs, and we're only in lap 3 of 53. So a long way to go. Gav holding it together for now, keeping it clean. Needs to get that incident that happened at the beginning of the race. Don't think about it.
Yeah, just keep it out of your head.
Let people sort it out after the race. We've got to
Same
focus on the battle at hand. But we've got Flexi up the inside. Now
nice
Gav
move.
on the switchback. He didn't get it right. Almost.
Nice move.
This next couple of laps is going to be crucial. Need to watch Gavin's pace and can he keep up? Or is the race winner of Australia going to? Oh, there we go, fastest lap, a 1:40.2 for Flexi, and he was only briefly in front for that lap, and he was making a pass. So surely he's got a lot more than that. Speeding in the pit lane, 5-second stop-go penalty goes to Staffy. Not the first one I've seen in this race. So a few guys already racking up the penalties, and obviously a lot of wing damage, a lot of activity in the pit lane.
We've got a little
Watching an interesting battle here by 6th place, but 3 cars here in close proximity.
I just spotted the same thing, yeah.
Mizmax, DW and Little Piece, all fast drivers.
Having a ding dong.
Actually, drivers of similar pace. So this could turn out to be quite a nice battle if it goes on for a while.
Indeed.
That lead in front, just monitoring it. After one lap, it's gone up to 1.5 seconds. So really seeing the fresh air there between the 2 cars. Definitely running away at this stage. But also got Josh in 7th place. Let's make note of that. He's making quite a recovery. He was in 18th at one stage when he rejoined the track. He had to rejoin in last. So he'll be looking to come up the order, and if you see there, he's got 3 cars in front of him just down the road, and those 3 cars were the very battle I was talking about. So he's going to be joining them shortly and making things quite interesting. Seems like he's got pace.
The big winner out of the start phase is Nathan, jumping 10 positions. So having a brilliant
very
start.
Nice. Flexi is obviously also up 5 positions. Don't forget, he started in 6th. He had a what seems to be a 5-grid penalty.
Yeah, made that up
for reasons that we did not catch. Maybe we'll be informed after the race.
Death Seeker and the judge also having good starts into the points. Good to see.
Just watching Timbo go around in the 2nd horse, currently in 14th. So seems like a lot has happened in the first 5 laps. Saw a lot of activity in the pits.
Yeah.
So obviously a lot of wing damage. I saw penalties popping up for the guys a few times. So a few guys already on the back foot. But 100%, long way to go. Just got to keep focused and put all of that out of your mind and just hope that later on down the road things will go for you.
The vet having a look at Little Piece. These drivers having a titanic battle. Nismax and DW. These two can't seem to get rid of each other.
Another thing you must remember is that while these three battle, we've got Josh coming up in 7th place, and he's closing that gap even faster because they are battling.
Yeah.
So he's closed that gap from 4.4 seconds to 3.1 seconds in the last basically 2.5 sectors, not even a full lap. That's when they really climbed into each other. You see chunks of time coming off. It's now down to 2.9, so he's just down the road.
Yeah.
And if a car with just a little bit more pace joins the back of this pack, I think it could be entertaining.
Yeah,
something to keep the eyes on. Just to see what's happening up in front.
Robbie is catching Gavin, I'm seeing.
That's right, he is closing the gap. It's under a second. It's crucial to keep that gap under a second so you can make use of the DRS.
Yeah.
So you'll wanna stay within that second. Let's see if he's got DRS.
Doesn't it?
Should activate it now.
No, it doesn't have it yet. I don't know why.
Doesn't seem like it. It should, according to the timing screens. Well, we all know about F1 timing screens.
Yeah, we won't mention that.
Especially this season.
Ooh, Nismax getting a move done on DW. Doing 3. Nicely done, nice and clean. So the Red Bull driver now having a look at Little Piece in the Williams. And
so now DW's in 6th place. He's gone to the back of that pack of 3. And Little Piece is still holding them all together. They're in 4th place.
Yeah,
doing a good job.
Doing a good defensive job, yeah. And remember, he's on the supers as well. Technically, the little bit slower tire. And we've got Nismax with the DRS wide open. Gets a run.
Where I see it is if you've got that super soft, the more people you've got behind you on ultra softs, the better it is for you. This is the time when they're supposed to be going their fastest, getting the most out of their strategy. And if you're holding them back, your strategy is working out fine.
Yeah.
So it's important to keep that track position when you're on the slower tire.
Definitely, yeah.
Well, obviously, unless it's your teammate, then let him go. Let him go.
Yeah, well, in some teams, we know the McLaren team has had some ups and downs. And it's only race number 2.
The unfortunate second retirement of Cam in 2 races. So disappointing start to his season 4 at McLaren.
Yeah. Mr. Brown
McLaren will be hoping for some more consistency. We've got a crash there.
Yeah,
I think that's Little Piece.
Little Piece just lost traction on the exit and just touched the wall there. Oh dear. That will really hurt his
right
strategy.
On board with him so we can
he's
look
got
for damage. He's got severe damage on the front left, it seems.
No, he'll have to put.
So that's disappointing. He was doing really well. He was in 4th place. He was holding those guys for quite a number of laps.
Yeah.
And doing a good job. But then coming out of a corner, getting too hungry to get on the throttle, losing traction, and car did not go the way he wanted it to. You'll want to get back to the pits, get that fixed.
I wonder if he'll have to put on another compound of tire. I wonder if he'll go with the softs. just to
I
go
wonder
right
if
to the end.
that obviously mixes up the entire strategy when it happens this early.
Well, let's just follow him just to see what tire he does put on.
I can tell you that Josh has been promoted obviously by that retirement, so he's currently in 6th. And making up ground on DW.
He's going for the ultras, it seems like. No, on the graphic it's supers. On the screen it's ultras. So, I don't know if he'll make it to the end on those, I'm not sure. But he'll have to stop again.
Just had a confusing moment there. I was busy commentating about how Josh was catching the vet, and then I saw him pass a Force India. And then I looked at the timing, and he was lapping the other Force India. So my apologies. I went quiet there for a second because I was just trying to
process that
make sense of it all.
Yeah. Yeah, Ati had a difficult start to the race. He obviously put it early, so he's a little bit out of position at the moment.
KLC, he's currently running around in 14th. Seems to be ghosting. So he's obviously left the session, maybe having a connection issue of sorts. It's disappointing. I would have liked to have seen him come up the order. He showed some serious pace in qualifying.
Yeah.
Currently just going around in 14th place, ghosting, and surely Springbok Gamer will catch him. AI is set to pretty slow, I believe. Flexi still leads. He's got the fastest lap at the moment. It's a 1:39.469. Faster than anybody else by 0.8 of a second. So
he's stretching that lead.
Just stretching that lead. That leads up to 7 seconds now. And it just seems to grow by 1/10 of a second every braking point. It's got Robbie in 3rd. Still doing a good job.
He is, yeah.
Doing a good job. He's pretty close to Gavin. He's been there for a while. But I don't think he really has any interest of getting up the road and catching Gavin and getting into a battle. He's on the super softs, he's on a completely different strategy, and maybe just wanting to keep that clean air, because obviously these two in front of him are going to pit first.
Yeah.
What's the lifespan on your Mr. Wazzy? Ultra softs.
I think well, supers will probably go close to 30, 35 laps. Ultras also, it's not a huge difference. I think they'll go 25 laps or so.
So
before they really start losing
the
too
first
much
pit
space.
stops, you say the first pit stops are probably still a far way away.
Yeah, it will be around about the halfway mark.
Not one of the most abrasive circuits on the calendar.
It's a street circuit, so yeah, the abrasiveness is not much. So tire life is quite good around here.
Gaps now extended 7.9 seconds.
Well, let's see. Josh will have his hands full with DW. Again, we all know DW's got quite a strong defensive game. He knows exactly where to place his car.
We witnessed a bit of it in Australia, and we witnessed it in the final round of season 3 in Monaco. He also had a great drive defending there for about over 20 laps with was it Muna? I think it was Muna.
Yeah, Muna and Nismex. They had a
another extremely fast driver that we're missing today.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Oof, the red cut
So,
a little bit there.
he's one of the quicker guys, so we know he'd be up there in the top 10 as well.
Yeah, it's the only place the vet will be vulnerable is on the DRS straights. With Josh running wide out of turn 1 there.
Gap at the lead continues to grow, 9 seconds now. It's looking like a second a lap.
Seems that way.
No. Seems like this gap between second and third has come down substantially in the last lap. I'm not entirely sure why. I don't know if Gav made a mistake, but it was hovering around 2 seconds and now it's at 1 second. So something happened.
No, maybe by mistake.
Doing a good job holding on to second for now. Robbie in third. Good position considering he's on the super softs. Could still be an interesting throw of the dice. This Max going around in fourth. Looks like we have a problem with... No, Captain Ice has left the session.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Hopefully that doesn't trigger the DRS glitch or the slipstream glitch.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, unfortunate for him. Obviously, we didn't catch what happened. But him and Cameron retiring at the same time suggests that there might have been contact between the two.
Left, I'm sure we'll be well notified in the minutes after the race.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Anyway,
when I take my phone off silent.
Got DW. I think Josh has met his match here. DW doing a great defensive job. He's been following them for about a lap and a half now, and yeah, looks like a good race these two are having. Oof, David, as I say, that has a little bit of an oversteer moment.
Oof. I just saw some footage of Cameron's crash, and I know there was no contact. It was all by himself. It was very fast. Basically clipped the wall at 300 plus.
Oh dear.
And there was no way back. But, like I said, he's a very fast driver in the opening stages of a race, and sometimes maybe just needs to settle down in those first couple of laps and just find his feet. DW still doing a good job there of defending the Ferrari.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Succumbing to his injuries.
Nathan. Wow.
I hope that's got something to do with his injuries. I hope that's not just more injuries. Well, he's gone completely straight somewhere. I can't even tell you where that is.
I can also make out where that is, but that's quite interesting. It looks like
that's another retirement, and with KLC ghosting around, that means we've got 13 runners, I think.
Yeah, I believe you're right.
So, lap 15 of lap 53. I hope this retirement ratio slows down. I don't think we have enough drivers.
Well, little piece of this early stop, not doing too bad. It's in P8.
Well, it's still in the top 10. Like we know in these 100% distance races, it's really about go in there, put on a new wing, put on a new set of tires, adjust the strategy if necessary, and just go out there and do your best, because other people will make mistakes, and you could be promoted and still finish with something decent.
Yeah.
And still walk away with some reasonable points from a race you would have otherwise walked away from or given up on.
Death Seeker also doing well in P7. Good to see him up in the points.
Seems like we've missed it, but Josh got past. Josh is in 5th place.
Yeah, got past.
And he's starting his mission down to Nizmax. Also not an easy driver to pass. So and neither is Robbie or Gav. So it's not going to be an easy path for second. And he's gonna have to pass some pretty good drivers to get there.
Yeah. What was an amazing recovery drive. So far, he was dead last.
When he rejoined the track, he had to wait for everyone to go by. So. But
the vet also
I think it'll be interesting it'll be interesting to see it'll be interesting for Gavin to see Josh in his mirrors and confusing.
Yeah. Well, the vet not falling away by any stretch of the word, so.
Cameron has left the session as well, so guys are leaving.
Yeah, 100% race is a little bit tough to sit in a lobby.
It's not something you can really just sit and spectate and speak to nobody, because these guys do not want to speak to you. At 100%, everybody mutes and there's silence. Watching Josh in 5th place, he is making up ground on his max. That gap now 3 seconds. We'll want to monitor that gap. Obviously, you can smell a podium, but still got a long way to go, and we haven't even really reached the first pit stop phase. So much can happen. Robbie's in second. In third, just half a second behind Gav on the slower tyre. So
he's in a strong position actually.
A very strong position, because he's on the slower tyre and he's keeping up with Gavin without any issues.
No, I think
he's been there most of the race. So
I think this is the sort of phase where the supers will gain ascendancy over the ultras.
The ultras now starting to drop away, and this is time for Robbie's tires to hit their sweet spot.
Yeah.
Now he's got DRS. It's an interesting breaking point, this. Probably my least favorite part of the track. Just that little kink. If I can tell you how many times I've touched that kink, I almost swear the game pulls me into it. Sometimes I'm like I wasn't even close.
It's one of those sections, if you do nail it, you you feel a sense of achievement. Because it is, even the corner before that big traction zone, it's also, if you get it right, especially with no traction control, it's a good feeling. It gives you a good feeling though.
She got Jean in 12th place. He's that stuck out like a sore thumb on my screen. He's on the softs.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that's didn't expect to see anyone running the softs today, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I thought maybe he's got some damage.
Maybe if he's just been to the pits so many times, he's just trying to have an extremely long run on the softs and maybe one more stop towards the end.
Nah, I think he'll be able to go to the end on those softs. And I think all the ultra runners, they'll go onto the supers, and then Robbie or the super soft runners will go onto the ultras for their one stop. Very possible.
Seems like it could be a race of one stops then.
Yeah, I know it is. Like I
the
said,
only
this
difference
track
is what you start on and what you finish on.
Yeah,
this
track is not in the way of strategy. It doesn't offer much.
Well, Robbie's in a strong position. You've got to remember that means he's going to have the faster tyre towards the end of the race. He's going to have a car that's very light on fuel.
Yeah.
So it's a good position to be in. It's getting rid of your heavy fuel load and your slow tyres now, and you're managing to do that in third. So it'll be interesting to see when that car gets even faster.
Definitely.
Well, Max also starting to make up some ground here on the top three. Currently in fourth. And keeping Josh at bay for now. Josh make a mistake?
Yeah, he's not having a fun time at the first corner. He keeps cutting that second part of the first corner. Sam getting towards some lap traffic now. And they seem to be behaving themselves.
It seems like there was no issues there. Just moving aside and...
Let's just go on board with him. He's got a super smooth driving style, which I enjoy watching.
And an ultra soft helmet.
Yeah, well, man. Don't mention that. Maybe I'll give it a lick.
Oh no. We can't be having that.
Just joking.
You need to drive in a sponsorless, liveryless car.
That's not
to keep your focus.
He's super smooth. Even his steering inputs and his throttle as well. I'm not sure if he's running any assists. It does seem like he's running a little bit of traction control, but still it's quite smooth.
It's very smooth on that wheel.
He did mention...
I can tell you that my wheel does not look like that when I drive.
I know, he made a little bit of a comment earlier saying if he gets to a comfortable lead, he might switch on some music and just relax through the race.
Put some road trip music on.
I'm just trying to look at his tires as well. They don't look bad. They're grinding a little bit, but they still look in good condition.
Beginning to show signs of graining, but they're still comfortable.
Yeah, let's just have a look at when he crosses the line, how much time or what his lap time is. It's a second down from his fastest, so the tires they're not fresh, let's say that.
Watching Robbie. You can see his tires look just fine.
He's really
Nothing
on
wrong
Gavin
there.
now.
Have a look at Gavin's tires. Just not too bad.
Yeah, I think with some of the guys leaving, it's definitely a slipstream glitch now, because you can see Robbie not really gaining on the main straight there. So I think you'll have to bide his time and wait for Gavin to pit, and then try put in a quick ones. But the other thing is, how much is the undercut worth around here, Jonathan? I'm not too sure.
That could be could also be something interesting to look at. Obviously, Robbie's on a completely different strategy, but Gavin, Nismax, and DW second, fourth, and fifth. They're all on ultra softs. Similar pace throughout the race, just maintaining those gaps really.
Yeah, I think Josh stopped actually now. He's on the supers. He's 25 seconds behind DW, so he definitely made a pit stop. So
It looks like he's made a pit stop.
Is he
gone
trying
onto the super softs?
I think he's trying to pull the undercut on Nismax.
A serious undercut.
Well, the tires will. I'm pretty sure those tires will last till the end. And Gavin's also into the pits now.
Gavin into the pits. Robbie promoted there to second. Surely he's just going to go on to the super softs. It should be a no-brainer.
Well, I'm only
super softs already in the pits.
Only 3 laps off. I thought they'll stretch it to 25, but yeah, they'll get the undercut going. It will
see maybe Gavin reacting to Josh's pit stop, because I think DW there's he would have also been at risk.
DW
he wasn't not DW, sorry, Gav would have also been at risk of that undercut if it was a severe undercut. By 2 or 3 laps, because I think the ultra softs were dropping off on pace a lot.
Well,
just watch the pace of Flexi. He's still on those ultra softs, and he's still making them work.
It'll be time now for Robbie, if there's any life in those tires, to use it now. To stretch it for another 5. No, you'll have to go another 10 laps, I think.
He just he's got to make the most of those.
Well, he's only
those super softs.
He's 2/10 off his fastest, so he's definitely putting the hammer down now. I think he'll go a little bit quicker.
So he's in the zone right now.
Coming up to some lap traffic though, so hopefully that doesn't cost him too much. See Timbo and the fellow horse.
He's in 10th, so after all said and done, he has managed to get himself into the points.
Josh putting in the quickest lap, so Nismax needs to keep an eye on that.
Nismax still going around on those ultra softs, hasn't chosen to pit yet, with Josh going around really quickly. So
yeah, he needs to react to that, I think, sooner rather than later.
Let me see, what is the gap? 21. I actually think currently, as it stands, Josh might just come out just ahead.
Yeah, I also think
Touch
so.
and go. The gap is 24
Well,
seconds. The pit stop here is about 25. Well, he's coming into the pits.
Yeah, he's pulling in now, so we'll have a look where he comes
So
out. It will be
we'll see what
close.
the result of the undercut is. Just gonna follow Josh.
And Flexi
He's
is
in
also
sector
in.
3.
So that promotes Robbie up.
Going around the second to last corner. Last corner onto the straight. There's Nizmax coming out of the pits.
Yeah, I think he's got him.
It's gonna be close. I predicted Josh would come out just ahead.
No, just behind, but
well, he's got the pace
run.
going into the first corner. Tires up to temperature.
Oh,
I think Nizmax has just held on to it. Nicely done. And he couldn't have gone in any later, or he would have lost that position.
Ooh,
One lap later, he would have lost the position.
Definitely.
So it did work to an extent. Brought him closer to Nizmax at least, but didn't get him past him.
Yeah, but I think towards the end, tires in better condition later on in the race. Not by much.
Well, he's going for it now. They go side by side into the braking point after the DRS zone, and he's got it.
Yeah,
takes fourth place. Cleanly done, nicely done. Just got the superior traction and pulled alongside him on the straight. And next up is Gavin, but that's quite a ways away. That's 8 seconds down the road. So a lot of work to do. Top 3 as it stands, we've got Robbie leading the race, yet to make a pit stop. He started on these super softs. Got Flexi in second. He's let's call it 16 seconds behind. And Gav 5 seconds behind him.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how long does Robbie take these tyres, because he doesn't want to fall behind Gavin. And
at least
looking at that gap,
I would say
it took Josh about 25 seconds. So that gap from first to third is 20 seconds.
Yeah.
So he'd come out behind Gav.
He will come out behind him, but he'll be quicker on a quicker tire. The thing is, I think for the ultras to last the race distance, I think he'll have to put at least lap 30. If he puts sooner than that, he's going to be in a little bit of trouble towards the end. So
towards the end, those tires will obviously just start to drop away drastically, and if he's in a position to defend,
I think these guys
just came out of the pits ahead of him. That CK gets well out of the way. No issues there. That gap now 14.5 seconds, so it is coming down.
We've lost.
He needs to worry more about the gap to Gavin. I think his race is more with Gavin.
We've lost Atti as well, unseen by us. So that puts the judge up to P11.
Just one position away from the points. It's not a nice feeling when you see the laps are running out. Lap 26. We can basically call it half race distance. Lap 26. Another 50% to go. We've lost 5 drivers. So if we don't lose another 5.
Yeah, true.
That'll be what, 7 finishes? Not good.
Nah, that will lose that many.
But that gap at the front continuing to come down. It's 12 seconds now. Flexi really just throwing in the lap times on the new set of tires, showing that you can still get great pace out of those super softs. Look at that fastest lap, 1:37.7.
He's pulling away from Gavin again. But Gavin
So
keeping...
it'll be interesting to see Robbie's pace on the ultras.
Yeah.
We haven't seen that yet in this race.
Gavin is keeping the gap solid to Josh. So that's good to see. And then obviously Mizmax not completely falling away from Josh. So everything's stabilizing for now, from P2 downwards. Robbie is the question mark.
Robbie's going to be the interesting one, yeah. Gap to third, currently 17 seconds. We know that's not enough for a pit stop.
No.
So, and even Josh, to an extent, he's getting into that danger zone where he could potentially drop behind Josh as well. What is that? 17,
but
22, 22 seconds.
Robbie will be thinking they're blunting their supers now, so he's still got a shiny new set of ultras to go on. So if he, let's say, if he laps pit 30, he pits lap 33, he'll have 20 laps to go. I'm sure he'll drag out a lap out of the guys. Later on, I would say. Yeah, from lap 40 onwards.
Just got to bear with these tires.
Yeah,
it's only lap 28, so still too early.
Live through the pain now, so yeah, I would think he'll probably put lap 33-ish, somewhere there. Then he'll comfortably make it tire life-wise, but that first 10 laps of that stint is where he's gonna gain time.
Flexi also just extending that gap from Gavin, just 8 seconds now. Looking at those times, if Robbie had to stop now, he would potentially drop behind Mizmax. He'd join in fifth. Some very interesting drivers to get by.
Yeah. I think that early mistake, little piece as well, it's hurting him now.
Was in a strong position earlier on, very strong position. Was fourth, and he had a pack of bees behind him that just wanted to get past. He handled it really well. Couple of laps, and then just making the error. That's what happens when you switch all the assists off.
Yeah, you'll get used to it.
Do slip up. There's nothing to catch you.
He showed some solid pace, so once he gets used to it, he'll gain pace, and B, he'll be consistent.
Switching off assists forces consistency.
Yeah, and maximum concentration.
You know, when you've got assist on, you can make a mistake at this corner here and there, and you know you can still get away with it.
Yeah,
but the moment you switch them off and you crash into the wall, you have to be on it each and every single corner, every braking point.
Yeah, that really tests the
every point of acceleration. Your mind's got to be there throughout. And then 100% it does stretch the guys. That gap now coming down a lot, 5 seconds.
Robbie is pitting. He's
And
pulling the
Robbie
trigger.
into the pits.
A
Lap
little bit,
29.
a little bit sooner than I
Ooh.
thought, but yeah, he'll be quick now. I'm pretty sure. Gavin will have the initial gap, but he'll be able to close that quite quickly.
Watching Gav now, he goes around the final bend. Robbie is just leaving the pits, or leaving his box. And now he can get back up to speed.
He's got Josh between him and Gavin as well now. That's something he didn't want.
Seems like he can hold Mizmax at bay for now. And now he's got the faster tyre. So it'll be interesting to see with Josh and Gav up the road.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Okay, so after everybody's made a pit stop, the top 5 read Flexi, Gav, Josh, Robbie, and Nizmax. Tibet just outside the top 5 there in 6th place.
He's having a solid
Definitely having a good solid run in 7th. Little piece in 8th. Like we mentioned earlier, he was in a strong position. Made an error early on in the race and finds himself in 8th, still going around, looking for the points. Dead Seeker, he'll be also 9th place. Looking to get some points and getting on the championship table. And then Timber making up the top 10, taking the final championship point in the second of the Haas cars. And then the last official runner, Judge, running in 11th. 15 seconds off 10th, so points are still far down the road. Just needs somebody to make a mistake so you can get in the points. And we know that can happen still.
Yeah, that's very possible.
22 laps, something like that.
These guys will tighten up a bit. They'll be on the attack. You never know. You never know. That's why we love Formula 1 so much.
Absolutely. .9 seconds that gap to Josh. Just gonna monitor this gap at the front.
Yeah, it's closing.
He's on a set of fresh ultras, so it'll be interesting to see what this tyre can do.
Josh is actually closing up to Gavin as well, so there's another battle brewing there.
Well, this will be interesting. He's catching up to 2nd place, and we don't need to mention what happened on lap 1. I think everyone saw that. Yeah. And so obviously it's going to be interesting now to see what happens if they find themselves next to each other again. Will it be a little bit Josh or?
Keep it clean.
Hope so.
No, Robbie definitely gaining. He's only 2 seconds behind now. So not gaining as much as the supers aren't gone. But
they're not gone, and another thing is that they're not an awfully bad tyre around this track.
Nah.
You don't really lose that much, or at least as much as you do on other tracks.
I think
between different tyre compounds. I think over here it's
No, well, between the two tire compounds, it will only be like, if I have to guess, a lap. Whole lap is
He's
probably
making
worth.
up ground. He's brought that gap down from 2 seconds to 1.5 seconds, and the gap is visual now. So, doing a good job fighting that McLaren Honda around the circuit. The other McLaren Honda has been in the pits for quite some time.
We're gonna have
It was our second casualty in this race.
a mega podium battle here shortly, and another 2-3 laps time.
Definitely. Just mentioned Gav has had quite a solid race. Besides the little collision in the beginning, he's been up there throughout. He defended the lead in the beginning. Eventually, Flexi got past, but he's kept that second place pretty much to himself, and he's been on the podium throughout. So, good performance. I think he'll be happy with that.
Yeah, solid.
Now, second, third, and fourth, getting close. Riding on board with Robbie. You can see third. You can see second. And he's on the best tyre out of all of them. Next couple of laps are going to be crucial. Obviously, you also can't wait too long. Those ultras will drop off.
Yeah.
Before these guys in front of him, so.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we had a massive lobby crash, it seems. So we've got Fernando Alonso on the podium winning the race. Fantastic. Well, I don't know if we'll continue. But yeah, that's it for now. Maybe we'll come back a little bit later with the shorter race distance. I'm not sure. I'll find out from the guys. But anyway.